do you have anything that you would say to family members or friends of somebody looking from the outside in, noticing that their friend or family member has issues with trichotillomania and they haven't gotten help? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say that this is a real psychiatric problem. And it does need the person with it does need professional help. And the other thing I would say is that this is nobody's fault.
Right.
I see a lot of times, families will get angry with the person who's pulling hair, and that truly just makes matters worse. And so if that's happening, the family really needs to get some help to be able to learn how to manage their own feelings and to how to better support the person who has the problem.
Right. What would happen with somebody, say if you have a child who's got trichotillomania at like 5 years old? What would you say to like parents that aren't helping this child get help? Is it gonna what's gonna happen to this child if it goes, undiagnosed or unsupported for their life?
That's hard to say. Some people could actually grow out of it, especially at that age. Maybe they do it for a while and then it suddenly stops. I wouldn't count on that, but it could certainly happen. What I would say to them is like a lot of problems, this will just get worse if it's not treated. And so to catch it early, and I see this a lot with people, the earlier we catch it, the more successful treatment can be.
Right. So if they get more time under their belt not doing it, it helps, in the long run.
That's exactly right. The more time that somebody goes without doing it, the greater chance there is that they're going to break the habit.
Because the body and the brain sees that as being more normal.
Right, and as they begin to separate themselves from the habit, they develop less of a need to engage in the behavior.
Over the years, I've learned a lot about like tempers and like managing stress and anger and not being able to make clear decisions when you're upset about something. And what I've learned is that all of our frustrations are held in the frontal cortex. And what I've seen is that if you just like do something like drop and do like 20 push-ups or jumping jacks or some sort of activity that you're flushing oxygen into the lungs and then it goes into the brain and it just kind of dissipates it so you can think clearly. Do you think that activities and exercise can be a good break from that?
Absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned that because another element of habit reversal training is relaxation training.
Okay.
And to me, one of the most effective pieces for treating trichotillomania is meditation. And the reason for that is that there is such a strong urge to pull hair is so strong that what we want people to do essentially is to ride the wave of the urge and to be able to focus on meditation or other types of relaxation so they can learn how to tolerate the urge. And the urge will pass if they let it. It's just that it's very, very strong, but the usefulness of meditation can help tremendously with this. The problem I run into is that, I often say to people that you wouldn't think that meditation is hard work, but it is. It's very hard to learn that process. But if people practice over time and use it the way it's meant to be used, it can be very, very useful with being able to limit that urge or be able to tolerate the urge associated with hair pulling.
Right. So can you explain what meditation is supposed to do?
Meditation it's really mindfulness meditation in which we want people to stay in the moment and to stay focused on, let's say, a part of their body, whether it's focusing on their breathing or focusing on different muscle sensations, to be able to focus their attention solely on that and to try and let go of the various other stressors that they might be thinking of or other emotions that are going on in the moment. So the idea is really to help somebody just stay in the moment and focusing on the meditation. And if they're able to do that, they're not going to be thinking as much or be as connected to thinking about the hair pulling.
Okay. Have you heard of TM, Transcendental Meditation?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So I practice TM, and from what I understand is that you go through like a dive of back and forth from mantra to thoughts. And the idea is to start clearing out a lot of the thoughts and the things that we walk around on a daily basis consciously worrying about. And then the more you do it, the more those fears and worries go away. So that way you can focus and kind of have a clearer, happier life. So I feel like meditation, I feel like TM is a little bit probably more beneficial, that particular method, because you're actually clearing out and your brain starts working out little problems that you're worrying about. And I think that over time, without practicing a meditation, they just keep getting built up in there. All of our fears and worries and anxieties just keep getting built up. And then when we're able to close our eyes and just be silent and allow it all to work itself out is when we begin to be less anxietal.
Right.
So how do you work with other people to support your clients with learning meditation, or how do you?
I'm familiar with some meditation exercises myself.
Okay.
And so what I typically will do is that I will review the exercise with somebody in session. And the phones are great for this these days. They can just record the exercise on their phone so they can listen to it whenever they want to.
Okay, so are you doing a recording for them and sending them a recording of what to do?
Well, we're doing it during the session.
Okay.
So they're just recording it as I'm reviewing it with them.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so that way they can do it at home.
That's right. That's right. It's much easier to learn meditation if you have a recording versus just reviewing it with somebody and then trying to remember it on their own.